If you're seeing this on before or after May 25th at 3:36 a.m. UTC time, buckle up because Saturn is about to enter Aries. I hope that whatever spirit has been calling you to do and your spirit has been calling you to do over the previous couple of weeks, I hope you've been doing that. I don't know what it is. Okay, it's going to be different for every single person. You could check out where Aries and Pisces are in your chart. That's probably going to be applicable. Whatever's going on in your life, though, all the spiritual things that are happening, I hope you've been doing them. Saturn, when it enters Aries, is going to be with Neptune, both of them together, ushering in a completely different era of spiritual practices. Saturn and Neptune together has to do with things that are of spiritual order and structure. Doesn't that just a little bit sound like religion? Now, I'm not saying religion is going to be born out of this. What I am saying, though, is that the discipline is necessary. You and your personal private practice, discipline is necessary. So whatever it is that you're asking to carry or asking for more of, or you're working with manifestation, or you're working in the spirit, or you're whatever it is, there's a lot of different ways to talk about it, right? If you're doing that, okay, it's time to get disciplined. Pisces and Aries, they both have to do a transition. They're two different parts of it. Pisces is the end. So new stuff gets ushered in sometimes in Pisces, that's true, but it has to do with things having come to a close. Whereas in Aries, we have the new beginning and then things get ushered out. So it's like two sides of the same coin, kind of. There's another way to read this also. Aries has to do with the mind. So I really hope, I more than hope you might want to make this a part of your practice if you don't already have it going on. I really hope you have an awareness practice, some form of like mental awareness, a good relationship with your mind, a healthy relationship with your mind, and it's never the wrong time to start. It's never the wrong time to start. If you have even just like an inkling of maybe I should be paying more attention to myself, Aries is the self. It has to do with the first house. It's about you. Pay attention to you then. Look at what's going on in that beautiful brain of yours. Look at what's going on in your life, because this is about to be a brand new beginning for a whole lot of people. Like a whole lot of people. And I want to put this in perspective also with everything else that's been going on astrologically. Pluto just started a new 18-year transit. Neptune is starting a new 14-year transit. Uranus, in a couple of months, is going to be starting a new 7-year transit. Those are some big numbers, guys. That's some big rocks to throw, you know? On a smaller scale, from like year to year, we did just start a new lunar node transition, which is about a year and a half, 2 years. And we just got out of a Mars retrograde, which is about 2 years of direct with that. And we just got out of a Venus retrograde, which is about a year and a half of a direct period for that. New beginnings are on the rise. They're on the rise. So look into your own eyes, okay? Take some time. Instead of sitting here looking at me, go reconnect with you. Listen, love you. Thank you for the support, okay? Yeah. And also take the time to go connect with yourself. This is going to be something where the things that you know you need to activate, the things that you know you need to do, Saturn and Aries is going to come for you and say, get up, go get it done. Oh gosh. It might be the awareness of just realizing, for example, okay, as someone with Saturn and Aries, I was doing my altar work the other night because we've got altars on altars over here, okay? So I was doing my altar work the other night and I realized in the middle, because Aries has to do with the head and I'm a Saturn and Aries, so I've been paying attention to this kind of stuff just to make sure that I'm on it, you know? And I realized in the middle of walking that I went through one option in my mind and I bounced to another option in my mind, and I wasn't even thinking about the decision. I just made a decision to compromise with myself in between both of those choices. It only took me like 2 or 3 steps physically to have made that decision. And I stopped for a second and I was like, wow, Saturn and Aries is really kicking in. I didn't even notice that was going on in my brain until I actually made the decision to start the thing. And then when I did, my Saturn is retrograde, so this probably tracks with that. I was able to track back on what it was that I was doing. In my mind, I saw that I was blind to the options and the decision. That's what I mean by, do you have a healthy relationship with yourself? Are you paying attention to you? What's going on in that beautiful brain of yours? Figuring out how your brain works and how your brain operates in Saturn and Aries is going to be super important. It's going to be highlighted. Things with mental health. Now, I'm not a licensed practitioner. That is not my specialty. But what I will say is that things with mental health are going to be very, very spiritually connected for the first several years of this Neptune and Aries transit. So if you've been feeling like it's time to start that journey, you are probably right on the track. You're probably right on it. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your knowing, because Saturn and Aries is going to ask that we learn the lessons of our brain. Okay, health of the mind. This could also include things like supplements that do help your brain. All right, the inner work, shadow work, journal work, meditation, loving yourself, speaking good things over you. Yeah. And for those of you who are magical practitioners, like myself, okay, people who've got to practice, if you're working anything mental, magic, let's talk about it. Now, what do I mean by mental magic? For people who might be a little fresh or a little new or maybe have never heard that before. Mind magic, mental magic is the stuff that goes on up here that nobody else can see. Think about like, okay, we talk about intuition and like if people, people who have mental abilities, like if somebody else is thinking something and maybe you could hear it. Call me crazy. It's a thing, okay? So if you've got those kinds of gifts, expect to learn a lot about them. And one thing I'm going to say about that kind of magic as someone who's gone through initiation in the spirit and has earned right of what it is that they do, that gift is only for you. Don't be talking about it to other people. Don't be yapping about how it works. Keep it here. Talk to your spirits about it in your practice, all right? If you make offerings to your ancestors, if you make offerings to the spirits, this sort of mental practice is something that is going to be one of the most protective forms of like invisible magic that exists, while simultaneously, if the wrong thing gets to the wrong person, it's one of the most dangerous kinds of magic. So keep it to yourself, keep it here, keep it clear, and don't tell anybody that doesn't need to know. Saturn in Aries is also about war. Know who your enemies are. And because Neptune is going to be with Saturn, this is also about learning of spiritual enemies. Not a fun chapter. Not super fun. Gonna say that someone as Saturn in Aries is not a fun thing to have to figure out that somebody next to you who you thought was riding for you actually needs to be on the other side of a boundary. Okay, what I will say is whatever you're working on right now, you want a new job, you want to have your own business, you want more money, you want to have an upscale in the world, Saturn stuff, right? Okay, working through spiritual enemy, boundaries, tactics, strategy, spiritual warfare doesn't always have to be talked about when it's coming to attack you. If you have your boundaries up and you've got your tactics up, usually the spirits leave you alone and you can go on and do what you need to do, okay? Track it, you got it. That is going to be really prevalent. That's going to be really prevalent while Saturn is in Aries. And especially, listen, if you listen this far, this is going to be one of the most important lines of this video. Especially the first couple weeks of August. Saturn and Neptune, they're not going to be exactly conjunct, but they're going to be less than a degree together. So they're basically going to be conjunct. The first week of August is going to be the most like succinct part of this. So if you've got it going on, you're staying diligent and you're staying up on your practices and you're doing the work that you know you need to do, the work that you're calling yourself to, the work the spirit's calling yourself to, you're exploring new kinds of magic, you're practicing new kinds of magic, you're keeping up the disciplines that you already have and your fundamentals and your foundation, while simultaneously learning about tactic strategy so that you can go out into the world and get what you want and stay protected in the process, first couple weeks of August are going to be really, really good. However, if you are not doing that, expect some hard things, Saturn stuff, whatever it is, I don't know. Saturn is different for every person. But expect some things to pop up the first couple weeks of August. If you've done the work, it's going to be good. If you've done the work, it's going to be great. So don't let there be extra weight. Okay, just keep going. Really, really keep going. Because then when we get into next year, there's going to be an actual Saturn and Neptune conjunction where they're like actually exact on each other. They don't get to that this year. They get really close, but they don't get exact. Not a time to be attacked in the spirit. So keep your protections up. Keep doing what you need to do, you know? If you know it's good for you, go do it. Also, just for a second, look at what's happening in the world right now. There's a lot of spirits up who are ready to fight, okay? What are you fighting for? How are you fighting for it? If you're new to spiritual warfare, tactics, strategy, protection, boundaries, sort of stuff, who are you? What are you fighting for? How are you fighting for it? Refine, define. Sometimes unalign from some stuff, and sometimes align with some stuff. You got it. You got it. The thing about Saturn and Aries when it comes to the protection work and the tactic and strategy work, if you take those small steps and you move one foot after the other pretty quickly, it's pretty hard to catch you. So, also with Saturn and Aries, probably you're gonna fail a couple times. So just keep trying because you're gonna get it right eventually. Not a time to give up hope. And if you start doubting yourself, one thing I learned the other night is that a repetitive doubt is a lie. It's the authority of the lie. So if you can get rid of the repetitive doubt, now you're working in your authority of the truth. What is your truth? How are you moving in your truth? Not me dropping a gem at the end. Goodness. I hope you feel the same. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up your brew. Keep doing what you need to do. Live in your authority of your truth. No more self-doubt, okay? No more giving authority to the lies. Look at the world. We don't need any more of it. Live in the authority of your truth. Keep up your brew. Keep doing what you need to do. I will too. Saturn and Aries is coming for me. It's coming for you. It's gonna be here soon. So I'll talk to you also very soon. True. And good luck. You got it. And remember to keep going. That's also Saturn and Aries. Keep going and keep growing. And I'll talk to you soon.